back to another review of Life Chess is for the bold and beautiful July 9th, 2025. First thing first, let me know y'all thoughts on today's episode down below. What did y'all think? Did y'all like it? Did y'all like the outcome? I mean, we haven't seen everything yet, but still. Let me know. Hold on, I need to check this right fast. It was okay. I don't like how Steffi didn't acknowledge the fact that Sheila saved her, but she did acknowledge the fact that Liam saved her. And I was Then I said, I think this episode to me revealed that Steffi and Finn finna have problems. They definitely finna have problems. As soon as he walked in the door yesterday, what I tell y'all? I said he stood there. It looked like he stood there to me or whatever, and he kept looking over that way. I'm assuming he was looking at Luna. But today's episode kind of looked like he was looking at both of them. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I think this whole episode just showed that they finna have problems. Even at the hospital, he was trying to, or he was about to go check on Luna, and Steffi stopped him. She stopped him. And I said, if she die, we already know. Because he already been blaming himself. He's already been blaming himself for, how she turned out. And now, if she die, he gonna blame himself some more. He gonna be like, I could have helped her or whatever. But I was like, yeah. But what we gonna start? I guess we're gonna start where they left off. Liam. So Finn was still tending to Liam. At first I thought he was gonna go over there and check on Luna and Sheila, because as a doctor I think he obligated to do it regardless. I thought he was gonna tell Steffi, what they be saying, put the pressure down on her or something like that. But no, he stayed right there with Liam until the paramedics people came. That officer dude, he was getting on my nerves. I was like, dude, I said, back up. I was waiting on her to call somebody. I wasn't expecting her to call Hope though. But yeah, they started out the episode where Liam, he had a pulse or whatever, and that's when Sheila was like, what did she say? She was like, he's a good man or whatever. And Steffi started talking smart to her, to my son, your granddaughter shot. He got shot by your granddaughter or whatever. And I said, that's Finn's daughter, so what? I said, either way it go. I said, either way it go, they connected. Hold on. I said, you talking about her granddaughter? That's his daughter. And he kept looking over that way. And I was like, is he looking at Sheila and Luna or just Luna? Sheila, remember what was there yesterday when she was like, don't worry about me, help Liam. I said, I don't think he was worried about you. I think he was worried about Luna. But yeah, he just kept looking over there. That's when they end up coming or whatever. So then he went over there to check on Luna. I think they did surgery on Sheila's foot, and I think she okay though. Hold on, y'all. But yeah, like I said, Liam had a pulse. Steffi said Sheila granddaughter the one that shot Liam. Hope and Carter, might as well get them out the way. They was just talking about Liam. She was saying how she glad that she has a chance to be there for Liam, and Carter was just saying how he gonna be a good stepdaddy, but he want more than anything is for Liam to have more time with Beth or whatever. And he was just comforting her and letting her know everything gonna be okay. What else did they talk about? I think they was just talking about that. I think they last scene was Steffi calling Hope to say that Leon had been shot and them heading out to come to the hospital. Hold on. I said, Bill, should nobody calling Bill yet? I'm assuming somebody gonna have to call him because he's gonna be at the hospital. He gonna be at the hospital, whatever, this week, y'all. But yeah, back to Steffi now. So, like I said, the paramedics people came. They end up getting them up out of there. The police officer dude just kept trying to ask Steffi questions. I know that's his job, and I know regardless of if he knew or not who Luna was, because wasn't they supposed to be searching for her anyways? But yeah, I think they still have to ask those questions. But I was like, he getting on my nerves now. He just kept coming over there and stuff. Hold up. But yeah, they got to the hospital. That's when I think the first person they seen was it Grace. I think Grace, and she was like Liam or whatever. Somebody said they think Grace been poisoning. They think that Grace been poisoning. What's his name? Liam. They think that Grace been poisoning him or whatever. I don't know. This feels too easy. I don't think Luna gonna die. I think they saying that Lee's supposed to get her. I said I could see that happening because she had Finn. Remember when she had Finn? If y'all was watching back then, how she got him and she hid him out or whatever. Was she the one that had him? Or am I mixing it up? Was Lee the one that had Finn? I don't know. I don't got confused myself. I think she had him. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, the hospital, Grace, she was like, what happened? And that's when they was like, it's more people. It's more people that, coming in that got shot. So they bring in Sheila, they bring in Luna or whatever, and Lee ends up coming out too. So that's when like they start working on them and everything. And I said I thought Lee wasn't supposed to work on nobody. I thought she wasn't supposed to work on nobody. But yeah, Sheila was worried about Luna and everything. Still worried about her. She's finna take you up out of there too, but she's still worried about her, just like Finn. Finn, I think something started happening with Luna, and he was about to head into the room, and Steffi stopped him. She was like, if Luna lives and Leon dies, I don't know what I'm gonna do. and he ends up going to work on Liam instead of working up on Luna. And I was like, yeah, I can see them having problems. People are speculating that the reason why she's gonna leave because y'all know that the lady that plays Steffi pregnant and she's supposed to be going on maternity leave. So they saying or assuming that she gonna have a falling out with Finn, and that's what's gonna lead her to leave. From what I'm hearing, Luna coming back in September. That's what I heard too. That she coming back in September. That's the same thing I heard. They saying that Lee's supposed to have her. She's supposed to come back in September or whatever. I don't know. Would y'all have preferred that Luna die or Leon die? But they do say this week. I think. Well, obviously it's gonna be Thursday or Friday because we only got 2 more days. They said that something shocking is supposed to be found out about Leon, and I was like, what's gonna be found out? But yeah, it was just what happened. Like I said, Sheila ended up getting work on her feet or whatever, and they was just saying how she's lucky. Meanwhile, Liam and Luna, they struggling. Hold on. I skipped the part, y'all. They finally untied Miss Dillon. She came out the closet and she was like, well, oh my goodness, and all this other stuff. And she was just saying how she didn't know or whatever, that it was a setup. She didn't know that Luna was going to do all this. And Finn was just telling her how it's not her fault or whatever. Yeah, this storyline over with something told me, no, this too easy. Exactly, it definitely is. Hold on. They said one person's supposed to die. Hold on. Lee ends up working up on Luna. And that's when she was saying how she refuses to let her die this way, and she keeps saying how the young lady troubled and all that. She making excuses for her, and she was like, they had thought they saved her. They thought that she was good, and she was like, let her be the one to call Poppy or whatever. She has to hear it coming from her, and that's when things started going wrong. And they ended it. They didn't show what actually happened to her though. And Finn ends up being the one to work up on Liam. What happened? I think Steffi ends up asking the nurse or the doctor or something if she could come back there, and she was like, no at first, but then she was like, yeah, you could stay, where the window thing is. And I was like, wouldn't that be a distracting? Wouldn't that be a distraction? Because I think Finn looked up at her or whatever. But yeah, she was right there. She ends up calling her to let her know that Liam had been shot, and that's when, they already said that about how they was on their way anyways. But yeah, it was something else. Stephanie was telling the police officer Liam saved her, how she owed Liam her life, but she's still not acknowledging the fact that Sheila saved her too. And I was like, not they over here. I said, because I think, what did the officer say? I think he was like, it's still not making sense. Like, how are the other people involved? And I was like, is Stacey going to try to make it seem like Sheila was involved or something? I don't know. But yeah, he was like, it's still not adding up. It's some missing pieces. And she was just explaining to them what happened, how Sheila ends up, jumping in front of it or trying to get the weapon from her. And that's when Sheila ends up getting shot. And I said the same thing happened with Leon. He came in or whatever. He trying to grab it from her. She ends up shooting him same way she shot Sheila, or Sheila got shot. And I was like, they both trying to protect Steffi. But she ain't acknowledging that. I said, she ain't learned her lesson, y'all. Wake Luna back up. I said, wake Luna back up. She ain't learned her lesson yet. Hold on. What they say? Let me scroll down. I think that was everything, though, y'all. Nothing too much. Lee refuses to let Luna die. Steffi tells Hope Leon was shot. Steffi says she owed Leon her life. They finally untied Miss Dillon. Yep, that's it, y'all. Nothing too much. Like I said, nothing happen. It didn't happen the way I thought it was going to happen, though. But yeah, that's it. Let me know your thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces, have a great rest of the day and be safe.